This video is going to be a departure from my usual content, but it's very important to me, so I hope that you will bear with me. This morning, my son's middle school received a bomb threat. This is the third bomb threat that they have received in the last couple of weeks. The first time it's happened during school hours. But this all stems from a protest that happened a couple weeks ago. Now, unfortunately, this protest went viral. And there are now stories all over the world about my son's middle school and rumors that aren't true. We live in a very red community. And for whatever reason, the kids at the middle school, these are 6th and 7th graders, so they're 11, 12, and the oldest ones have turned 13 this school year, or will turn 13. They love calling each other names or finding ways to mistreat each other. All very common in that age group, of course, but one of the favorite insults to hurl around is calling each other a furry. Last year, my son was coming home and saying that he was feeling bad because people were calling him a furry and he didn't even know what it meant, so I had to Google it. So this is what a furry actually is. People who dress up in costumes or are like really obsessed with anthropomorphic animals or like human-like animals. But for whatever reason, at my kids' school and apparently at a lot of schools around the US, people are saying that furries are kids who identify as animals and act like animals and want to be treated like animals. Everything from that these kids go around only communicating in barks or meows or, licking and biting and rubbing up against people or requesting to use a litter box in the classroom. All of these accusations have always been unfounded and there's no proof that kids are acting like this, but because it's so sensationalized, it spreads like wildfire. So a couple weeks ago, some kids and their parents decided to walk out from the middle school and protest, saying that the school administrators were tolerating furry behavior, and one of the parents decided to stream it live and it went viral. Now, here's the problem with that. Problem number one, it's not true. These things have been investigated and it's not true. There was one video of a kid playing outside during the lunch break and acting goofy and barking, and their friends were laughing at them, and to me it looked like classic awkward tween behavior. But they're using this as proof that there are these kids that are furries according to their definition of furry, and that the school is like, oh, it's no big deal. One mother of one of the accused students, accused of being a furry, spoke to the media and said that her daughter was being targeted because she and her friends like to make masks, and they had made some animal masks and taken them to school to show to each other, and they got in trouble and people started accusing them of being furries. And what ended up happening was some of the bullying kids would say, oh, you identify as a furry, so I'm going to identify as a hunter. So these kids were being threatened. The furries were being threatened. The alleged furries, I should say. So she had to pull her daughter out of school. Well, because that was live streamed and went viral, there were stories on a national and international level. And now people who are using right-wing extremist rhetoric, such as cleansing the community or making our country great again, have begun contacting the school, the administrators directly or in general, making threats, bomb threats, threats against the administrators saying that their houses were going to be attacked, that they were going to be attacked. And as far as they can tell, these are all coming from outside our community, and they're hoaxes. But every time it happens, they have to investigate it. They take every threat seriously. And this problem is not unique to our community. If you just Google school bomb threat, there have been, I don't even know how many, in recent days. So, I hope it's okay if I ask for just a few things. First, please don't spread misinformation and lies. Second, please consider that kids of these ages do tend to engage in behaviors to try and figure out where they fit in society. And unfortunately, a lot of times that is bullying. I was one of the bullied growing up, and now my son is one of the bullied. But whether your child is the bullied or the bully, please talk to your kids about these things and don't let them go unchecked. The last thing is, whether you're a religious person or not, please send prayers, good vibes, whatever you believe in, to these kids whose school days are being disrupted, to these administrators and teachers and staff and law enforcement who are having to navigate these issues. And lastly, please consider supporting leaders, politicians, candidates who refuse to engage in inflammatory rhetoric. It doesn't do us any good to be calling each other names that make us see each other as less than human, implying that diversity is a bad thing. I guess that's all I can say. Thank you for listening.